To finish off our neons and embeds, we are going to use Mad Micah's Pretty Kitty for the base of our cupcakes. And I'm basically just going to glop this on, and then I will just kind of drop them from afar to try to get out all the air bubbles, which, as you can see, there's going to be air bubbles because this is so thick. But I'm just going to fill them, whack them around, and then we'll come back and see if we can pipe some frosting on top of them. I'm not even going to tell you what colors are in the frosting dough because they are not representative of the micas I used. I had a little fight with the colorants. Let me just tell you, don't go light on neons. If you want a neon color, get the color in there. But I have kind of a mixture of teal and neon green going on the frosting here. To start out with, I'm just going to do a flat layer on each one. I've only made cupcakes once before. In fact, the embeds we're using on this are the embeds that I used on my cupcakes before. Now that I have my little bases on, we can go ahead and pile on top. If you kind of shake it as you squeeze it, that's how you get that little cool ribbon effect on it. These aren't looking too bad. I was really mad at the colorants, the way that I had done the color. I was messing around with the color and I started to make the colors look really ugly, and so I was just like, oh, this is just gonna be awful. But now that the colors are kind of setting into the soap, they're looking brighter and brighter, so it's not that bad. Add a little more to this guy here. And then we're going to put our little embeds in. So like I said, these are embeds that I used the last time I made soap cupcakes. I just had a lot more than I needed. These actually came from the carved soap that I made way back when. It was not one of my best soaps, but it was a fun soap experiment that I keep meaning to redo now that I've learned what not to do when making carving soap. By carving soap, I mean soap that has layers of colors and you carve into them and expose them as you carve. And then these were made by, squishing and rolling up the shavings when I bevel the soap. These curls were made by just planing some of the bars with a vegetable peeler. Oh, I actually want those at an angle like this. Oh, that's making it look weird. If my soap is so thick, it's not really wanting to receive the straws very well. I think I'll put those down at the base. But they're meant to look like little straws. I don't like the idea of putting real straws in soap. I know some people that do that. They put paper straws in their soap, which is totally fine. It's super cute. But I just think of the straw when you're using the soap getting all wet and soggy. So I like to put soap on soap. All right, I think those actually look pretty darn cute. And then we're just going to top them off with some fun glitter, because I do think if you're going to make food-looking soap, you should always add glitter just to keep kids from trying to eat it. I once bought a cute, big, giant lollipop for my daughter at Target. We were shopping and she found this lollipop in the clearance section. It was huge and it was 25 cents. And I said, sure. And then we got it home and she was complaining of it tasting really yucky. And I told her, oh, just keep eating it. It's probably just old. That's why it was on the clearance shelf. And she tried again and she came back. She's like, no, it's yucky, Mom. She was just like 3 years old. So I went in to take a taste of it, and it was soap made to look like a lollipop. I didn't even notice. I didn't even notice that on the wrapper at all. So when I started making soap, I decided if it was going to look like food, it was going to have something that looked non-food-like on it. Okay, these are made. I'm not going to move them. I forgot to put them on a board. When you're using a soft mold, you should always put it on a hard board. One, so you can tap it down, and two, so you can move it off your work table. But these are going to have to sit still for a while, and then we'll come back and unmold them and see what they look like. So the last of our embed soaps are these cute little cupcakes. So we're just going to remove the liner. You really do want to make sure your soap has set up before you do this, because it's really easy to dent these little ridges. But look at that. There's our beautiful little cupcake soap. When I was banging it down, some of the soap rose up on the edges. So once I was done making my cupcakes, I had some extra frosting left in my piping bag. So I just piped them out on a flexible cutting board. I find that my soap doesn't stick to those. And I just put out some dollops on there, and I think they make the perfect little guest size soaps. And I think these would be darling in a little bowl or jar next to the sink in my guest bathroom. And I'm very happy with how those turned out. So I've got several guest soaps to use. These can also be used for soap samples. I think they're just really fun and really cute. So I hope you've enjoyed watching me make all these embed soaps. I was able to make all 3 soaps, the cupcakes, the planet soap, and the desert soap. I made them all using one batch of 7-pound soap made using the heat transfer method, just like I did in one of my last videos, and had plenty of time to work with it until I added the fragrance oil for the cupcakes, and then it got a little thick. But overall, it was just a fun soaping day. I made all 3 soaps in one day and had a lot of fun doing it. So I hope you enjoyed watching it. And if you have a bunch of soap scraps laying around your soap room, then I encourage you to throw them in a bunch of wild and crazy soaps. Have fun soaping, everyone!